3 lies that toxic spiritual TikTok made you believe that are just not true. We're going to cover these myths right now. Now, these are going to probably be quite surprising to you, especially if you've been browsing around like spiritual TikTok, spiritual talk or whatever, and you've probably come across these things. You will be surprised, so stick with it till the end because the last one is actually quite surprising. Really unexpected. And I'm not just saying that to make you stick around, like it is actually really like something that a lot of people believe on TikTok who are spiritual that is just simply not true. So the first kind of lie is that you don't have to do anything. I've seen this a lot with spiritual TikTokers where they'll make these kind of videos where they basically just say, you don't have to do anything, leave it all to the universe, trust God, trust source, whatever. And what this is doing is it's externalizing a savior. It's basically taking all of the power away from you as the spiritual individual and the sovereign soul and saying that something else out there will be the one to save you. Something else is going to swoop in and save the day. This is just not the case. You know, I wish it worked like that, but it doesn't really work in my experience. It doesn't really work like that. There are things that you need to do, and there are also moments and times where you need to let things go. And what's not talked about is that you need to have a balance between the two things. You can't just only do nothing or hustle all the time. Because from your own experience, right, you've seen that this doesn't work. For example, you could take somebody who is working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, picking things in a field or, cleaning, right? They're working super, super hard, especially in like third world countries, giving their all every single day for like $1 a day. So of course, like extreme hustle and hard work is not the answer to getting everything you want, to manifesting your desires and abundance. But in the same way, literally sitting back and doing nothing is also not going to get you what you want. You may have come across these people, or maybe this is even you, right? I've come across several of these kind of spiritual individuals who will basically just say, everything's fine, I'm just leaving it to the universe. And if something bad happens, they say it was meant to be that way. If something good happens, they say it was meant to be that way. And there's no accountability and responsibility. They don't actually believe that they are creating their own reality. They believe they're just kind of an experiencer, right? A victim. And this is actually quite a dangerous way of thinking. If you just believe that everything's just happening to you instead of you creating it from the inside out, then you're not really going to have any control over your life. You're going to be basically just drifting around. And what a lot of these people who believe that everything is happening in divine timing, the universe will, if it's meant to be, it will happen. I find that those types of people usually are not where they want to be in their life. They constantly think that something in the future will happen. It's going to happen to me later. Maybe it's not the right time for me. Maybe right now it's not the right time for me to have what I want, but later it will be. And this kind of thinking is going to just keep you going round in circles for years. It's about understanding the manifestation principles, but then also taking inspired action on the things that you want to do. You have to do both. You can't just sit around doing nothing, and you can't just hustle all day without manifestation principles. The next lie is that this idea that a crystal is going to change your life. I've seen several videos where they pull out a crystal and they say, this one specific crystal is going to change your life and it's going to be the answer to everything. I wish that were true, but it's very rarely that there's just this one magic bullet thing that's going to fix everything for you. And especially so with crystals. Now, crystals are important and they are very special and like very interesting things, but they're just a tool. They're just a tool. It's like drinking water. It's just a tool that you need or that you can use. In fact, you don't even need them. But yeah, I've seen this lie on TikTok that one crystal will change everything for you. Not really true. And then the next lie that Spiritual Talk has told you is that tarot card readings have all the answers. And this is something which just simply isn't true. Like being able to channel is firstly very, very difficult. And only a very small percentage of people who think they are tarot card readers can actually accurately channel. It's like a very, very tiny percentage. And even then, we're all human, right? So you're going to be tinting the reading, tinting the kind of messages that you're getting from these things with your own life experience, your own beliefs, your own programming, your own limitations as a human. So it's very difficult I would say next to impossible to know whether you're getting an accurate reading or whether it's just not an accurate. And of course, what this means is that if you rely on that reading, it could be nonsense. It could actually just not be helping you at all. It could be pushing you in completely the wrong direction. And a lot of people are relying on like these one video, like pick a card tarot reading or yes or no tarot reading, to make really big life decisions and things that will impact their life. And it's just not the right way to go. Sure, you can use it as a kind of like an information point, like something to nudge you or give you a suggestion or advice. But really, with advice, you should just be taking what really resonates and just kind of using your own intuition, in my opinion. And I'm going to explain a couple more actually as bonuses. I know I said 3 lies that Spiritual Talk has told you, but I'm going to explain a couple more just because this is quite an important topic. But these things are circulating like crazy. And I think part of the reason is that these ideas are very easy to explain in like a 7-second video. And usually it just becomes like an engagement loop. So don't forget to comment, by the way, letting me know. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, these things become like an engagement loop where they create these short pieces of content just to kind of get comments, and then the comments give it more engagement, so then the algorithm pushes it more. Doesn't necessarily mean that the concept behind the video is actually true. And it takes a bit of discernment and a bit of your own intuition to really be able to figure out, is this true? Or is this just a pointless piece of content that is not really going to give me any value? Now, when you really stop and think about it, I think it's pretty obvious that, let's say, a single solitary crystal is not going to be able to change your life. But the comments in some of these videos is making me think, well, you know, this is a real issue on TikTok. People are literally taking these things so seriously. Like, another one is, you may have seen these videos where they just say, this is all you need to do. Like, just repeat this one affirmation and that will solve everything. It's not really that simple. Now, of course, these little ideas do help in some way because they push you in a certain direction. They push you towards using affirmations. They might share like one individual idea or something like that. But what I've been thinking about lately is that I might start posting slightly longer videos here on my TikTok, because this is really where, or wherever you're watching this, because this is really where we can get into concepts and actually break down things so you understand them. In a 10-second video, it's, in my opinion, very difficult to explain what you're trying to say. And also, there has been a huge push lately for super, super short content in the last couple of years, right? Where it's just 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And the damage this has done to our attention spans is almost irreparable. For some people, it's literally beyond being able to fix it in some extreme cases. It's going to take a long time to unpick this. But I think by starting to, not only for you to start to consume a bit longer content and be a bit more patient, for creators to actually start making a bit longer content as well, I think that's going to make quite a big difference to your attention span. So I'm going to give you another, just before we end here, I'm going to give you another bonus thing which I really want you to, use. But yeah, just let me know what you think about this length of content, because obviously this is way, way, way longer than the vast majority of TikToks. And if you're still watching this, by the way, according to analytics, only 1% or less of people on TikTok watch a video longer than 3 minutes, literally 1%. So you've already started, if you're watching this now, to separate yourself from the majority. Okay, you've already started to put yourself in that category of people who you can watch a longer video and you don't get bored. And even if you do, you kind of stick with it because there's no rush, there's no urgency where you have to move on to the next piece of content and you have to move on to the next video. Because ultimately, what are you actually looking for? You're just kind of scrolling for no reason. So, by the way, I actually run a private community called the Freedom Tribe, which is linked in my bio, or you could just go to astralhq.com/Freedom Tribe. And this is basically where I make private videos answering your questions. We dive into all kinds of things like manifestation, starseeds, light workers, how to escape the matrix, how to actually build a business based on something you love doing. We explain all of these things in there. But yeah, if any of this resonates with you and if you would like to just check it out, I do actually have another video on that page kind of explaining a bit more about me and how I got to where I am, where I'm essentially able to create the life I want every day, and I can decide what to do and how long to do it for. So go and check that out, and make sure you leave a comment and a like.